Srimad Bhagavatam 4:31-23. Maitreya Uvacha Iti Prachetaso Rajan Anyascha Bhagavat Katha Shravayitva Brahmalokam Yayo Swayam Bhuvo Muni. Maitreya Uvacha. Maitreya said, Iti, thus, Prachetasaha, the Prachetas, Rajan, O King, Anyaha, others, Cha, also, Bhagavat Katha, topics about the relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Shravayitva, after instructing. Brahmalokam, to Brahmaloka. Yayo, went back. Swayambhuva, the son of Lord Brahma. Muni, the great sage. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Translation. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear King Vidura, Sri Narad Muni, the son of Lord Brahma, thus described all these relationships with the Supreme Personality of Godhead to the Prachetas. Afterward, he returned to Brahmaloka. Please repeat. The great sage Maitreya continued, My dear King Vidura, Sri Narad Muni, the son of Lord Brahma, thus described all these relationships with the Supreme Personality of Godhead to the Prachetas. Afterward, he returned to Brahmaloka. Purport. One has to hear about the Supreme Personality of Godhead from a pure devotee. The Prachetas got this opportunity from the great sage Narada, who told them of the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his devotees. We'll go to the next verse. But just one, you see this word, Shravayitva. Shravanam means to hear. How come here Shravayitva means after instructing? What is that? Okay, after hearing, but here is after instructing. So, Shravanam means hearing. Shravayitva means make others hear. That means you speak. There is another verse with this same Shravayan Nityam. 12:59. You see him? Is it the one? Yes. 12:59 Srimad Bhagavatam. Ya etat shravayén nityam yamakshanam ananyadhihi shlokam ekam tadartham va padam padarthameva va shraddhavan yo nushrunuyat punatyatmanameva saha. Shravayén. Shravayén means those who make others hear. See, Shravayet, make others hear. How to make others hear? You must speak. So that's why it's instructed. So this, of course, the shloka is a very good one. So one who with undeviating attention constantly recites. See here it's mentioned recites, but actually the word is Shravayam, make others hear, means you recite or speaks about. One who with undeviating attention constantly recites this literature at every moment of every hour, as well as one who faithfully hears even one verse or half a verse or a single line or even half a line, certainly purifies his very self. So sometimes even if we don't have time, you can read one shloka, half shloka. Still there is so much advantage. So going back. So this is Narad Muni's job. He will instruct, they understood, leave the place. Next station, preaching station. That is the duty of devotees. But one can only leave the place when the devotees there are sufficiently advanced so that they can establish Krishna consciousness wherever they are. So like Srila Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, he used to travel with his disciples. Suddenly he will go to the city and then he will, first day he will arrive in a city, next day he will have some conference with Theological Society or something, and third day he opens center. That's it. And then puts 2 men there and go to the next place. Of course, he will instruct and then guide them and then go to the next place. In fact, once even Prabhupada did that. Madras, Chennai, now then Madras. So he was going by his train, so came to Madras station. He asked 2 devotees, you get down, start center. That's how dynamic, So 431.24 Tepi tanmukha niryatam yasho lokamalapaham harer nishamya tatpadam dhyayantastadgatim yayuhu. Lokamalapaham hare nishamya tatpadam dhyayanta tadgatim yayuhu. Translation: Hearing from Narada's mouth the glories of the Lord which vanquish all the ill fortune of the world, the Prachetas also became attached to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Meditating on his lotus feet, they advanced to the ultimate destination. Purport: It is seen that by hearing the glories of the Lord from a realized devotee, the Prachetas easily attain strong attachment for the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Then, meditating on the lotus feet of the Supreme Lord at the end of their lives, they advanced to the ultimate goal, Vishnu Loka. It is sure and certain that anyone who always hears the glories of the Lord and thinks of his lotus feet will reach that supreme destination. As Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita 18.65, Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mamai vaishyasi satyam te pratijane priyosi me. Always think of me and become my devotee, worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपः कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णकरुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपासिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. सो तेऽपि तन्मुख निर्यातं यशो लोकमलापहं हरेर्निशम्य तत्पादं ध्यायन्तस्तद्गतिं ययुः. यशो लोकमलापहं हरेर्निशम्य. So mala means contamination. Nirmala means pure. Mala means contamination. Mala apaham, destroying. So there is another verse. Rukmini Devi says, Brahman Krishna katha punya madhvir lokamalapaha konu tripyeta shrinvana shrutagno nityanutana. Very important verse actually this. What experienced listener, O Brahmana, could ever grow satiated while listening to the pious, charming and ever fresh topics of Lord Krishna, which cleanse away the world's contamination? Madhvir is a sweet, and Lokamalapaha will remove the contamination. Konu tripyeta shrinvana shrutagno nityanutana. Nityanutana means always. Nutana means, here it is mentioned novel. Nutana means new. Nutan, even Hindi, is new. Always new, always fresh, always ever fresh. Krishna's topics. However many times we may read or hear them or speak about them. It's not that when the speaker, when he's speaking, then he also gets new realization even while speaking. Not just while hearing, even while speaking. That's why it is said, Shri Vishnu Shravane, Shri Vishnu Smarane Abhavat Parikshit Vaiyasakir Kirtane. So, what is that? Krishnapti Resham Para. So, there are 9 processes of devotional service, right? So, there are examples of devotees who have achieved perfection with just each one of them. Shri Vishnu Shravane Parikshit Abhavat Vaiyasakir Kirtane Prahlada Smarane Tadangri Bhajane. Prahlada Smarane Tadangri Bhajane Lakshmi Prithu Pujane Akrurastva Bhivandane Kapipatir Dasyetha Sakhyarjuna Sarvasvatmani Vedane Balirabhut Krishnaptiresham Para. Shri Vishnu's Abhavat. This is the one. So here 7.5.23, where the 9 processes are there. So this verse is there in the purport. So Parikshit Maharaj attained salvation simply by hearing, and Shukadeva Goswami attained salvation simply by chanting. So both. It's not that only the listener is relishing, even the speaker. And there is a nice verse. वासुदेव कथा प्रश्न पुरुषां स्त्रीं पुनातिः वक्तारं प्रच्छकं श्रोत्रीं तत्पादसलिलं यथा. Beautiful verse. Vasudeva Katha Prashna. If there are questions, if you see, Bhagavad Gita is a book of questions and answers, Bhagavatam is a book of questions and answers. Krishna Katha. So one was between Krishna and Arjuna, God and his devotee, and other is about God, between devotee and devotee. So all of them are Vasudeva Katha Prashna. Purusham String Punatihi. 3 kinds of people are purified. Punati means purified. Vaktaram, Prachakam Shrotrim. Vaktara means the speaker. Prachakam means the inquirer. And Shrotrims means the one who are around, who are listening. So all are purified and beautiful. Tat pada salilam yatha. Krishna's pada salilam means what? You know what's pada salilam? Tat pada salilam means? Water. Yes. So Ganga. So Ganga is referred to here as Tat pada salilam. Salilam means water that is flowing from the feet of Lord Krishna. And I was thinking why Tat pada salilam, but in the translation it is nicely described. The Ganga, the Ganges, emanating from the toe of Lord Vishnu, purifies the three worlds, the upper, middle and lower planetary systems. Similarly, when one asks questions about the pastimes and characteristics of Lord Vasudeva Krishna, three varieties of men are purified: the speaker or preacher, he who inquires, and the people in general who listen. So, upper, middle, lower, tat pada salilam yatha. So Ganga is one which three planetary systems, it is full universe, it is flowing. So first it goes to the heavenly planets. I think there it's called, what is it called? Mandakini. Right? And then here Ganga. And below in the lower planet system is called Bhogavati. Three different names of Ganga. So, if you say Ganga, it is in the earthly planetary system. Tat pada salilam means all three. But of course, Ganga can be even in the higher planetary systems, it can be called Ganga. It's not against that. But you see, upper, so Vaktaram, the speaker, is speaking. So from him he is flowing. And then the inquirer, like in the case of Krishna and Arjuna, Arjuna became the inquirer and listener, the initial listener. And then because of him it overflowed, and then we are all benefiting. Like waterfall. So that's why it is said in the Gita Mahatmya, Sarvo Panishado Gavo Dogdha Gopalanandana Partho Vatsaha Sudhir Bhokta Dugdham Gitamritam Mahat. So there also the same concept, three. The cow is there, the calf is there, and we humans are there. The cow is giving the milk, the calf is drinking. Only because of the calf there is milk. But then it overflows, and the more quantity is produced, and humans also can drink. So we benefit from the milk of the cow because of the calf. Just like we benefit from the Bhagavad Gita instruction because of Arjuna asking. If Arjuna did not ask, Krishna would not have spoken. There was no reason for Krishna to speak. If there was no cow, there wouldn't have been milk from the cow. Cow is there with full potency, but milk is not coming if the calf is not. So these interactions of Krishna with his devotees nourish every other devotee even now, even to date, for eternity. We are only hearing the instructions of Bhagavad Gita and hearing the pastimes of Krishna with his devotees, but we are getting purified. Although we did not participate personally, but we are getting that. And it's not like an ordinary cow, Surabhi cow, unlimited milk. So in this way, everybody is purified if somehow or other we sit in the place of Harikatha. Now, what is so purifying about Harikatha? Let's explain in this today's verse. Tepi tanmukha niryatam. Niryatam means flowing, gone forth, you see, coming out of. Tanmukha, Narada's mouth, whatever came from his mouth. Yasho lokamalapaham hare nishamya tat padam dhyayanta. So this is the thing. So when we hear about the glories of the Lord, then our attraction becomes to the Lord, towards the Lord. It's like if we hear about some glory of somebody, we'll think about that person for a few days at least. Like when I was a Karmi, in my teenage years, I read Abdul Kalam's autobiography, Wings of Fire. read. I was very inspired. I wanted to become defense chief of India. Yeah, really. Really wanted to. I wanted to become the chief defense engineer. I wanted to build a whole, what is that, like now what Israel has, like Iron Dome. Whatever missile comes, nothing can, automatically the machine will, without any human intervention, it will destroy. So I wanted to build something like that. So inspired. So for many weeks I was thinking of this only, about defense technology, this kind of things, just because of getting inspired by it. So similarly, if that can happen even materially, what to speak of the Lord and His devotees? These should be our role models. So our role models should be, for women, it's like women like Draupadi, Sita, Savitri. So these kind of Kunti Devi, all these women, unlimited, so many women are, Uttara, so many women are there. So all of these should be the role models, how they have chaste wife, and devotee of Krishna at the same time, Rukmini, Radharani. And for men, it's Lord Ramachandra, Yudhishthir Maharaj, Arjuna. In this way, there are so many examples again. So here the Prachetas, Narad Muni, these are the examples. Now, they made Narada a clown now. Such a devotee where he is preaching, all the great devotees in Bhagavatam, almost all of them can be connected to Narad Muni somehow or other. And they made him now a clown. In no religion you will see they will make Jesus Christ a clown, or Prophet Muhammad a clown. If you talk something, they will kill you. You will talk derogatory comments. Yes, in India now it is going on. There's some derogatory comment, full big upheaval all over India. They take the religion so seriously. Where is our seriousness? Chota Bhim. Bhim became a clown. Bhim became clown now. Narada is always a clown for them. But he is the greatest devotee. He made so many great devotees. Prachita has also gone back to Godhead. The 11,000 sons of Daksha gone back. Prahlad Maharaj, Dhruv Maharaj, Yudhishthir Maharaj. We cannot count. The hunter also, Mrigari. So many. But we don't have this. So this is devotee. So in the devotee, Yasha Lokamalapaham, Hare Nishamya, having heard the glories of Hari, Tatpada Dhyayantaha, we can think of the lotus feet of Krishna, and then Tadgatim Yayuhu. So in the purport, Prabhupada quoted this verse that we all know, Manmanatava Madbhakto Madhyaji Mam Namaskuru Mame Vaishyasa Satyam Te Pratijane Priyosme. So Manmana means with the mind. Madbhakta, of course, one must become, his very existence should be a devotee. Madhyaji, worship with the body. Mam Namaskuru. Namaskuru means to offer obeisances. That is also done with body, also with the words. This there is this verse from I don't know where the source is, but the meaning of the Dandavat Pranam. Sashtanga Namaskar we say, right? Sashtanga Namaskar. What is the Sashtanga Namaskar? Sa Ashta Anga Namaskar. Namaskuru means with 8 limbs we must. For the men, for the women, of course, Panchanga Namaskar. Because it is said that the breast should not touch the ground, the earth. So, there is a nice Instagram post. Wait a second, I will just try to see if I can open that. I don't know where they quoted it from. I need to get the source. Namaskuru is important actually. That's why Prabhupada said when you bow down to Prabhupada, it's not just putting the head down and getting up. No, the mantra should be chanted. Because I will show you why. What are the 8 angas? I never understood which are 8 angas. So, Purasa, Shirasa, something like this. I will come wait. how to find the saved posts. I don't even know how to use this Instagram sometimes. Actually, saved. Very good. This is the one. I don't know if you can see this, but wait. It's too small. So in this one, this is from some 16th century. Now here you can see, I don't know how to make it big. What I can maybe. Can you see? Okay. Ashtanga Pranam is a more intense form of salutation done using 8 organs of the body. Now, it is used to express not only reverence but also surrender and allegiance. It is commonly practiced. Anyway, this is from a Hindu person, little bit. But anyway, salutation rules for men. Sashtanga Namas Pranam. Sa Ashta Anga Pranam. Urasa Shirasa Drishtya Manasa Vachasa Tatha Padbhyam Karabhyam Janubhyam Pranamoshtanga Uchyate. Meaning, the bowing down with the chest, head, eyes, mind, speech, feet and knees is called the eightfold salutation. See, Urasa means the chest, Shirasa head, Drishtya through sight, Manasa through the mind, Vachasa through words, Tatha like that, Padbhyam through the 2 feet, Karabhyam 2 hands, and Janubhyam means the knees. So in this way, one has to do the salutation. So, and there is salutation for women. This is actually not exactly the shloka for salutation for women, but what cannot touch the earth. Brahmanasya guda shankham shalagramam cha pustakam. Pustakam means book. That's why book we cannot put on the floor. See? Here there is a verse. Dharani na sahate kamini kuchamardhanam. This is kamini kuchamardhanam is the breast of a woman. So the back part of a Brahmana means actually his anus. Brahmanasya guda means his anus, and shankham. That's why you see our shankham is on the thing, not touching the ground. Everything is there in Shastra. Shalagram of course is Lord. Has to put on the cushion like that on the altar. Book, the breast of a woman, should not touch on the ground. If these things touch the ground, then these acts are considered fault or bad. Dharani nasahate kamini kuchamardhanam. So that's why it is they do it sitting. So in that way it is mentioned. So in fact I commented on this verse like almost last year. I asked them what is the source of this Sanskrit verse, where is it taken, and they never replied. So this is the Sashtang Namaskar, Sashtang Pranam, Dandavat Pranam. So Urasa, Shirasa, what is that? Drishtya, Manasa, Vachasa Tatha, Padbhyam, Karabhyam, Janubhyam, Pranamoštanga Uchyate. So Namaskuru, Mam Namaskuru means with all these 8. It means basically our mind, body and words. So we offer obeisances. So again this Manmana Bhagavat Bhakto. So offer homage unto me. Homage unto me. It is translated as. So homage means, there's Namaskuru means like when we say Namaste, it means my respects to you. So Namaskuru means offer your respects. Offering respects means with all these things. Urasa, Shirasa, Drishtya, Manasa, Vachasa, Tatha, Padbhyam, Karabhyam Janubhyam Pranamoštanga Uchyate. What is that? See, very fast. Where did you get it? Okay, you can just send me the message. So yeah, so this kind of thing we have to have actually. So, and then I don't know the second verse. Where is it taken from? Dharanena sahate kamini kuchamardanam. You didn't see? Right. You see here, this is the 8 anga. So, the urasa means the chest. So, but women is here. This Brahmanasya Gudashankham Shalagramam Chapustakam Dharanena Sahate Kamini Kuchamardanam. So one Mataji was actually asking like this from Russia, why I can't do straight. I don't feel like I'm fully surrendering. I want to do straight. So I sent her to some. But yeah, if I can find that source, that will be easier. So with mind body words, when Manmana Bhavamat Bhakto Madhyajimam Namaskuru means with our body, mind, words, everything, we have to serve Krishna. And that will happen if we hear from a sadhu like Narad Muni. Because the words of the sadhu are imbued with spiritual power. Four 2025 Sa uttama shloka mahanmukhachyuto bhavat padambhoja sudhakana nilaha smritim punarvismrita tattvavartmanam kuyoginam no vitaratyalambarai. Is this the one? Yeah. Nectar particles, Sudhakana, the nectarian particles, saffron particles, Prabhupada said here. My dear Lord, you are glorified by the selected verses uttered by great personalities. Mukhachuto, Chuto means, Achyuta means never falls down. Chuta means one fall down. Mukhachuto, the words falling from a mouth of a devotee, like Vaktaram, Prachakam, Shrutrim, like the waterfall, the word fall of the devotees, especially great devotees like Narad Muni. So selected verses uttered by great personality. Such glorification of your lotus feet is just like saffron particles. When the transcendental vibration from the mouths of great devotees carries the aroma of the saffron dust of your lotus feet. So the words are actually transformation or the manifestation of the Krishna's dust of his feet. You know, Mahatpada Rajobhishekam, the dust of the lotus feet of a devotee, and the words of a devotee, there is no difference. The dust of the feet of the Lord and his words, there is no difference. Because Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Vrittimanti. In fact, the other day, Nimanita Prabhu was sharing with us that even the devotee gets this quality of Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Vrittimanti in the Madhurya Kadambini of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur. It is said when one is in intense ecstasy, then you know that verse where Rupa Goswami says, I want millions of tongues, Tunde Tandavani Ratim Vitanate Tundavali Labdhaya. So, he wants millions of ears, but actually, it is said in the Madhurya Kadambini of Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur that when a devotee sees the Lord, then all the parts of his body acquire the same quality of seeing. because two eyes are not enough to see the Lord. So all parts of the body. Then the sound of Krishna's words, the entire body becomes sensitive to hearing. It means they can hear. So in this way, every part of the body, it is said, that is the intense ecstasy, ecstatic position, bhava, mahabhava. So, so the dust of the feet and the words from the mouth, they have no difference. So we, of course, when we come here, we touch the feet impression of Prabhupada and the feet of Prabhupada Murti. We pay our obeisances. Equally eager should we be to hear. Taking shelter of the lotus feet of the spiritual master means to actually hear his instructions and act according to his instructions. Symbolically doing it, but not manasa, vachasa. If we can't do it with our full existence, so by Dandavat Pranam, we are actually agreeing to offer our entire existence to the service of the Lord. And there is no remuneration for that. Of course, remuneration is there, the happiness that Krishna rewards the devotee. But he doesn't want anything, basically. The devotee doesn't want anything. Oh, I am giving my existence, what are you giving? So Krishna can always say, I have given you everything all this while. What have you given me, first of all? You should have never left me, you left me. So when the transcendental vibration from the mouths of great... So even if we give our existence, this is nothing. The time that we have not given our existence to him in his service is already a loss which cannot be made up for. We can only rectify now, and going forth we cannot undo what we did in the past. It's Krishna's mercy that he is agreeable to excuse what we have done. We are not entitled to be excused. It is his mercy if he wants to excuse. Of course, Krishna says, I do excuse. But still, whatever we have done can never be undone. Right? Past we cannot change. We cannot go back to the past. So it is only his mercy. Sarvadharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarvapapebhyo mokshayishyami. I will relieve you of all sinful reactions. That is his mercy. It's not that, I have now surrendered. Where? Krishna, still I am suffering. What is this? What is entitlement? What is nonsense entitlement? I can't demand. If Krishna gives me suffering, then I have to... If devotee thinks that I deserve way more than this. If my life is full of suffering, still the devotee thinks I should have suffered for millions and billions of births, but he is giving just this one lifetime of suffering. That's it, and he is agreeable. Or the devotee doesn't even expect that only this one lifetime. Even if I undergo suffering for millions of lifetimes, I totally deserve it. I should never expect anything from Krishna. But Krishna is kind, that is his thing. But our thing should be to serve him no matter how he reciprocates. That is Ashlishava Padaratam Pinashtumam Adarshanan Marmahatam Karotuva Yatha Tatha Ava Vidadhatulam Pato Mat Prananathastu Seva. Mat Prananatha should never change, no matter how Krishna reciprocates. That is real love. But if I expect something in return, that is not pure love. So when the transcendental vibration from the mouths of great devotees carries the aroma of the saffron dust of your lotus feet, the forgetful living entity gradually remembers his eternal relationship with you. Devotees thus gradually come to the right conclusion about the value of life. My dear Lord, I therefore do not need any other benediction but the opportunity to hear from the mouth of your pure devotee. And I think in the previous verse only, he says millions of years. So, yeah, this is the one. न कामयेनाथ तदप्यहं क्वचिन् न यत्र युष्मच्चरणाम्बुजासवः महत्तमान्तर्हृदयान्मुखच्युतो विधत्स्वकर्णायुतमेष मे वरः. Karnayutam. I think it's 10 million, I think. Ayutam means? Karna means ear. 1 million. 1 million. 10 lakhs. Ayuta. My dear Lord, I therefore do not wish to have the benediction of merging into your existence, a benediction in which there is no existence of the nectarian beverage of your lotus feet. I want the benediction of at least 1,000,000 years. For thus I may be able to hear about the glories of your lotus feet from the mouths of your pure devotees. Sometimes we think, these are all exaggerations, they will talk like. Sometimes devotees lose the faith in the chanting of the holy name because we are not there in the Shuddhana. So it does not mean that this is just some poetic reference, poetic way of saying it, but not really. But no, that is not the case. You have to have full faith in the words of the pure devotee and Krishna. So Rupa Goswami is saying, Tunde Tandavini Ratim Vitanute Tundavali Labdhaye Karna Kroda Kadambini Khatayate Karnarbudebhya Spriham Chetah Prangana Sangini Vijayate Sarvendriyanam Kritim No Jane Janita Kiyadbhiramritai Krishneti Varnadvayi. I do not know how much nectar the two syllables Krishna have produced. When the holy name of Krishna is chanted, it appears to dance within the mouth. We then desire many, many mouths. Tunda means tongue. Tunda avali. Like Deepavali means what? Many, many lives. So there's uncountable, innumerable, like that. We desire many, many mouths. When that name enters into the whole of the years, we desire many millions of years. Karnarbudebhya, Arbuda means more than crore. I think 10 crore, something like this. And when the holy name dances in the courtyard of the heart, it conquers the activities of the mind, and therefore all the senses become inert. So this experience of the holy name is accessible to the pure devotees. But there is such a stage, at least we must understand that. There is such a stage. So Narad Muni spoke to Prachetas about the glories of Krishna, and the effect was that they could focus their mind completely on the Lord. And they went back to Godhead. All successful projects, Narad Muni, wherever he took up, all successful projects. Sometimes they argue, see Ritvik Vadis, these Ritvik people are saying that Prabhupada cannot deliver. Prabhupada cannot make even a single pure devotee, they are saying. That's why nobody is Guru. How come Prabhupada is so unsuccessful? So the thing is, Narad Muni would have preached to millions more. These are the ones who took up the instructions seriously. That's why they became successful. He preached to millions, billions or even trillions. He's still preaching somewhere. Maybe most of them did not. Who knows? How many did not? So Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, Vitarag Bhaya Krodha Manmaya Mamapashvita Bhavo Jnana Tapasa Puta Madbhavamagata. Many people in the past took to this process and came back to me. But how many, for every person who went back to Krishna, how many millions did not go back? Manushyanam sahasreshu kaschid yatati siddhaye yatatam api siddhanam kaschin vettimam tattva. Yatatam means those who are trying for perfection, those who are trying to achieve it. Out of millions of them, kaschin vettimam tattva, very few. So those few are mentioned here so to inspire us. Oh Prabhu, then the probability is very low, no? Success rate is very low, I can't go. So success rate is, statistics are useless. Why the success rate is low? Because many don't take seriously. That's why. But at least whatever they have started will never go in vain, even if they were not serious. Next life, Bahunam Janmanam Ante Jnanavanam Prabhavita. Once they understand this knowledge, then they will surrender. So intelligence means if anyway one has to come to the point of surrendering, why not now? See, either I do it now or after 300 million years, let us do it now. The only difference is the wastage of time there, that's all. more suffering, more torture. That's all. So I have to decide. I cannot sit on the fence or let me see, surrender is not for me. Yeah, then Krishna, no problem for him. He has waited many millions, billions of years. He can wait another few billion years. Not a big deal, huh? Of course, he is eager to get us back. That's another thing. But his patience will never wear out. Those verses I have shown, Brihad Bhagavatamrita, where he is very, very, eagerly waiting for us. But that patience will never wear off. Krishna's patience. Unlimited patience he has. Everything is unlimited about him. His patience is also unlimited. He can wait. But we cannot, we want this so-called material world, but we cannot tolerate the suffering, how much suffering we are going through. How much more we want to go through. At least, even if you are not interested in Krishna, that's why in the beginning, Bhagavad Gita, you see, Manmana Bhava Madbhakta, 18th chapter, 9th chapter, all this. In the beginning, he never said, oh Krishna, Arjuna, you are not fighting. Manmana Bhava Madbhakta, you must hear me. And immediately did not come to that. He said, Matra Sparshasthu Kaunte Shitoshna Sukha Dukkhada Agama Payano Nityas Tam Stitiksha Svabharata. You tolerate. First he addressed the pain that Arjuna was going through. Krishna is having his own pain, seeing us suffering in this material world. He did not even bring out that. He is giving Arjuna a solution for his own problem because he is now confused about what he has to do. He is just self-interested. Because if you see the first chapter, he was completely self-interested. You see, he said these things. You see here, 132. Kim no rajyena govinda, kim bhogair jivitena va, yesham arthe kangshitam no rajyam bhoga sukhani cha, ta imeva sthita yudhe pranam styaktva dhanani cha, acharya pitarah putras tathaiva cha pitamaha, matulashva shurah pautrah shalah sambandhinas tata, etan nahantum ichhami ghnatopi madhusudana, api trailokya rajyasya hetoh kim nu mahikrite, निहत्य धार्त राष्ट्रान्न का प्रीति स्यात् जनार्दन का प्रीति where is the happiness, where is my happiness is gone, what is it, where I will have happiness, that is the statement here. See, O Govinda, of what avail to us are a kingdom, happiness, or even life itself when all those for whom we may desire them are now arid on this battlefield. O Madhusudana, when teachers, fathers, sons, grandfathers, maternal uncles, fathers-in-law, grandsons, brothers-in-law and other relatives are ready to give up their lives and properties and are standing before me, why should I wish to kill them even though they might otherwise kill me? O maintainer of the living entities, I am not prepared to fight with them even in exchange for the three worlds, let alone this earth. What pleasure will we derive from killing the sons of Dhritarashtra? In our case, we are just asked to, become brahmachari or something like this, just leave your family and come. If Krishna asks us, go kill your family, what we will do? Arjuna was put in that kind of situation, kill your grandfather, kill your relative, brother-in-law, brothers, everybody is killed. Not just one relative, all your entire host of relative kill. I mean, what kind of surrender one must have to say Karishya Vachanam Tava to that? So then later on again, you see in the second chapter again he said this. 2.8, yeah. Actually 136 also. Wait, I just showed it 136. See, पापमेवाश्रय तस्मान् हत्वैतान् आततायिनः तस्मान् नार्हा वयं हन्तुं धार्तराष्ट्रान् सबन्धवान् स्वजनं हि कथं हत्वा सुखिनः स्याम माधव. Sin will overcome. He is talking like a pandit now. See, sin is overcome. He is quoting some shastra. Sin will overcome papam if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of gods of fortune, and how could we be happy by killing our own skin? The whole thing about Arjuna's preliminary questioning was, how am I supposed to be happy after this war? Where is my happiness? Where is my happiness? Because if all of them are there, then I can show off my wealth, then I can show off my status, then I can, you see, when the Pandavas had this beautiful palace by Mayadanav, who, magical palace, they had this illusory palace. So, it was a big show off, right? So all were, the Duryodhan, fell into the water. First he thought it was water, then it was actually land. Oh, then he was walking and then it was water. He looked like land, but it was water. And he fell and everybody laughed at him. So, these are all like show off. Oh wow, your palace is like beautiful, this, that. So if everybody is dead, to whom shall I show off? What shall I do with my wealth? So this was his thinking. And I think 2.5 was, I think 6, 6. न चैतद्विद्मः कतरन्नो गरीयो यद्वा जयेम यदिवानो जयेयु यानेव हत्वा न जिजीविषामस्तेव स्थिताः प्रमुखे धार्तराष्ट्राः. Nor do we know which is better, conquering them or being conquered by them. If we kill the sons of Dhritarashtra, we should not care to live. Yet they are now standing before us on the battlefield. So he was fully perplexed. And of course he said, I want to become a Shishya now. That is 2.7. 2.8, he just continues his dilemma. Nahi prapashyami mamapanudya yachhokamuchhoshanam indriyana avapya bhuma vasapatnam riddham rajyam suranam apichadhipatyam. I can find no means to drive away this grief which is drying up my senses. I will not be able to dispel it, even if I were in a prosperous, unrivaled kingdom on earth with sovereignty like the demigods in heaven. So all his focus was his happiness. So Krishna is addressing his happiness and his distress and how to navigate this material world through these situations. So he is solving his problem, and only later on, as he explains more and more the science of the soul, how you are not the body, these are not your relatives, and then you have to act on your duty as a Kshatriya, and then you have to, finally you have to do all this for my happiness. Because dharma, paritrana, what is that? Dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. Whenever there is irreligion or decline in religion, and he comes and paritrana sadhunam vinashasha dushkram dharma samsthapanartham. This is my mission, Krishna is saying, and you have to cooperate with my mission. Yeah, this is, you see. तस्मात्तम उत्तिष्ठ यशो लभस्व जित्वा शत्रून् भुङ्क्ष्व राज्यं समृद्धम् मयैवैते निहिताः पूर्वमेव निमित्तमात्रं भव सव्यसाचिन्. Nimittamatra, you become an instrument. You see here, therefore get up, prepare to fight and win glory, conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, O Sabyasachi, can be but an instrument in the fight. Now, you can see so much in this verse. First of all, Krishna came to correct this whole religious principles problem here on the earth, and he did it. And Arjuna was concerned about his own happiness. Now, Krishna gave him the solution to how to become happy by becoming his devotee. But then, you get the fame. Yashola Bhasva. You get the fame. Be famous. Krishna giving him the fame. He is not taking anything, any credit he doesn't want. Yashola Bhasva, you become famous. I don't want to become the famous warrior in this battle. I don't want to even fight. Yashola Bhasva. Conquer your enemies and enjoy a flourishing kingdom. I know you are not interested, but I want to show others that my devotees will enjoy. Means what? Enjoy means, okay, after killing them you drink and womanize, and that is not enjoyment. You cannot actually enjoy with that. Womanizing and all this, intoxication, meat eating. They think that is enjoyment. But then You will get hangover, you will get the whole life of pap, and like what? There is a physical hangover, but also there is karmic hangover after this. After that, the suffering will be like anything. So, is that enjoyment if you are suffering? So, enjoy means do everything in conjunction with Krishna. In like Atma Rama, that is, he is enjoying. Who is a devotee, he is self-satisfied and he is enjoying. Santushtya yena kenava. He is enjoying. The sinful person, he thinks these things, all meat eating, all these sinful activities are enjoyment. That's not enjoyment. So, enjoy a flourishing kingdom means have the entire kingdom at your disposal and then rule according to religious principles. And that is what I came to establish. I have no business in this material world, Arjuna. I came to establish this, and you become an instrument in my fight and you get the fame. If a carpenter does a nice job, like you see this woodwork, how intricate, takes a lot of work. Who gets the credit? The carpenter. The tools don't get any credit. But Krishna is saying, you become my tool in my plan, you get the credit. You are just one hammer in my plan, or one chisel in my plan, but you get the credit. See how Krishna is. Whereas a carpenter, of course, he will put maybe a brand, so-called carpenters. What is that? He did not put here, but he gave us his cards, a few cards. Please give my number to others so that they can, if they want, they can get from me. So, he will take the credit. Krishna has zero interest. That's where his Vairagya, opulence of Vairagya, renunciation is shown. He is doing everything. He is solving Arjuna's problem, and he came to solve the world's problem, but he wants to be out of the whole this thing. How humble, how renounced. Only if one is humble, one can be renounced. If I am not humble, I want to get the praise, I want to get, everything. Then we cannot be renounced. And then we cannot be happy. Like that 11th canto, one verse is there of a hawk, I think. Was it a hawk? Is this the one? Yes. 11:9-2. Samisham kuraram jagnur balinonye niramishaha tadamisham parityajya sasukham samavindata. Beautiful verse. How renunciation will give us happiness is stated in this verse. Saamisham kuraram jagnu balinanye niramisha tadamisham parityajya. So, okay. Once a group of large hawks who were unable to find any prey attacked another weaker hawk who was holding some meat. At that time, being in danger of his life, the hawk gave up his meat and experienced actual happiness. It's the exact position in the material world. What we are fighting for, I want to be the greatest, say, soccer player in the world. There are thousands of others who are fighting for the same thing. So you have to face all that, anxiety of facing all of them, like this hawk. He had a piece of meat. Hey, every other hawk also wanted the same meat. How? No, I have to eat. Of course, I will think that if I eat, I'll be happy, my stomach will be satisfied. But what will happen after that? My stomach will be ripped apart. So when he gave up that meat, actually he was flying with his meat. He was trying to, and because of the weight of the meat, and he was also a bit weaker than the others, they were catching up on him. So many hawks. And then he just let go. Suddenly no hawks around him. Free. Happy. Nobody was after him. That's why a devotee, people, actually this devotee is the happiest. He is richest. Nobody goes near him. Why? Because nobody knows the value of his happiness. They think, he does not have anything. Nobody will come to. And therefore, if you see the 6 Goswamis, Dhira Dhira Janapriya, Dhira Adhira Janapriya, both the gentlemen and the ruffians, both like them. Both classes of people like the 6 Goswamis. Because, why the ruffians are rough? Because other ruffians, they will also want, Suppose like two ruffians, they want one girl, they will fight for that girl. This kind of things happen so often. But if the sadhu is not interested in that girl, then this ruffian will have no problem with the sadhu. Okay, you are nice, come. And the sadhu will preach. Of course, when the sadhu preaches, he will get a little angry. But eventually with that favorable disposition towards the devotee, eventually he will advance. So how renunciation makes one happy, but how can one be renounced? How can I give up all these things if I have attachment for these things and I crave for these things? Then I will not be humble. I will not be renounced. So therefore, why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu stressed Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahishnuna, Amanina Manadena, Kirtaniya Sadahari. Kirtaniya Sadaharihi. That is the safest position in our life. When we are always remembering and glorifying Krishna, that is the safest position. But we cannot be in that safe position. We will be agitated and thrown out from that position if we are not Trinadapi Sunichena. And let's see what is Trinadapi Sunichena a little bit. Tarorapi Sahishnuna, right? Is this one? Yes. So 11, 22, 58 and 59. Kshipto vamanito sadbhihi pralabdho suyito thava taditaha sanniruddho va vaitya va parihapitaha nishthyuto mutrito vajñayir बहुथैवं प्रकम्पितः श्रेयस्कामः कृच्छ्रगतः आत्मनात्मानमुद्धरेत्. Should say uddharet means lift himself up or save himself from this material world. Even though this is Trinadapi Sunichena, Tarorapi Sahishnuna, a little more graphical description so that we can understand even more clearly. Even though neglected, insulted, ridiculed or envied by bad men, or even though repeatedly agitated by being beaten, tied up or deprived of one's occupation, spat upon or polluted with urine by ignorant people, one who desires the highest goal in life should, in spite of all these difficulties, use his intelligence to keep himself safe on the spiritual path. This is how one can be happy. Not by taking revenge on that person. And then if I take revenge and I successfully take revenge, yes, now I am happy. And that happiness will be short-lived. In fact, what I am actually doing by taking revenge is that I am thinking of the person. He did this to me. I will do this to him. And I am thinking of my enemy who has all these so-called bad qualities, who did all these things. And because I am thinking of him, I am meditating on the qualities of that person. I am spending time meditating on his qualities. And I am stalking him and finding out where he is going. I am meditating on his pastimes to find out somewhere I can find him alone and then beat him up. So I am meditating on his so-called activities and his mindset and what he has done. Whereas, if we give up the revenge idea of revenge, like Jesus Christ, when he was being crucified, he said, "Please forgive them, O Lord, for they do not know what they are doing." They don't know what they are doing. Out of only madness, one does something like that. Even Haridas Thakur also said the same thing. You show them mercy. They have not done me any, harm. खंड खंड होय देहो जाय जदि प्राण तबु आमी बदने न छाड़ी हरि नाम ए सब जीवेरे कृष्ण करो हो प्रसाद मोर द्रोहे ना हो ऐसा बार अपराध. He said, what is that? He will never leave. No. See, the thing is, the Lord never excuses the offense of his devotee. But the devotee is safe, you see. By thinking like this, by being just humble and completely tolerant and not even having any revenge mentality, he is safe. Now, how the Lord deals with the whoever did that to Haridas Thakur, not only they died, but their entire families were wiped out. Their whole village was deserted because of a natural disaster. Just afterward they did that to him. The entire family, everything, dynasty is all wiped out for them. So Krishna never excused. But a devotee thinks like that. And therefore he is safe on the spiritual platform, you see. One has to use his intelligence to keep himself safe. There will be so much upheaval in this material world, you can't avoid it. And we can't react to that upheaval and then if I overpower that upheaval, now I am happy. No. Kacho habu dubu bhai. There's the Mayar Jacho Beshe Kacho habu dubu bhai. I can what is it? So, sometimes, like the surfers, Prabhupada called them sufferers. Because there will be fish next life. He saw he was walking along the beach, there were some people surfing. What do you call that? They are called surfers. Prabhupada says sufferers. They will suffer like fish next life. Now, the surfers think they are very cool because they can ride on the wave. That's revenge mentality. When some upheaval comes, I want to ride on top of it, I want to be the surfer. But then after some time I will hacho habu dubu bhai. Dubu means I will go and underneath the wave. Then it's not fun. That time it's not fun. So one moment we may be like a hero, next moment zero. So there is no point, because just because I won on one wave, I surfed one wave, doesn't mean I will just keep on surfing whole life like that. Where did you see a person just keeping on surfing? You can't. One day he will lose all strength and he'll die and sink in the ocean. So it's no point, because the miseries of this material world will hit us like waves, one after another, never stopping. So the best part is, the best way to combat this is just take a boat and get out of there. Go to the shore. Then you will be happy. Trying to surf in the ocean and all this, river rafting, what is that? So many things they try. This all won't make us happy. Real thing is, come to the land. People may say, no, I don't want to be safe, I want to be adventurous. There is so much adventure to do while preaching. If you want adventure, preach. Take the life of a preacher. He is always taking risks. If one wants adventure, become a preacher. In fact, you saw the song we sang before this class. Prana ache jar, she hetu prachar. Who has got life, he will preach. Just like they say, I want life, I want adventure. What is this safe, what is this? Yeah, okay, you have life, come and preach. Let's see whether you can withstand all this. One wave or rock climbing, something. What about the mountain of Maya to cross, to fight against, everyone will be against, family will be against, government will be against, some neighbors will be against, and the people you are preaching to, they will be against. Prabhupada was just going in the ship, heart attack. He had no reason to go. Risk, adventure. At the age of 69, which so-called adventurer sport enthusiast comes and does adventure at 69 years old? No. Prabhupada, who has life? Who is more adventurous? The devotee. How many things he has to cross? Where is the adventure of the other person? No. So any way you see, the devotee's life is the most glorious. In any way you see. So, that's how we have to. So, a couple of verses about this humility and tolerance. Let's go to 1:18:48. तिरस्कृता विप्रलब्धाः शप्ताः क्षिप्ताः ता अपि नास्य तत्प्रति कुर्वन्ति तद्भक्ताः प्रभवोऽपि हि. The devotees of the Lord are so forbearing that even though they are defamed, cheated, cursed, disturbed, neglected, or even killed, they are never inclined to avenge themselves. And we can see, what is that, Ambarish Maharaj. When Durvasa Muni, offended him, he was feeling bad that Durvasa Muni was being chased by Sudarshan Chakra. He did not think, yes, Sudarshan Chakra. He did not do that. He said, oh, I will fast until he is saved. Then finally, when he went to Vishnulok and he was said by Vishnu. Vishnu said, I can't save you. Sudarshan Chakra is not in my control. It is in my devotee's control. You go and surrender to him, bow down to him, and then the Sudarshan Chakra will leave. So Krishna gives his opulences in the hands of devotee. But not that, of course, he has the opulence himself, but if you give Sudarshan Chakra to devotee, he will not use it. So Krishna will use it for him. But so Ambarish Maharaj was waiting, did not even eat for 1 year. So I think you will also become angry. Now we have Paran time with this guy is going on talking like like Durvasa, not allowing me to break my fast. So, but he was feeling, oh, this is, we made a TikTok also on it. Backfired. The TikTok name was Backfired. His back was on fire and his plan backfired. So, that is how Krishna does. So, but devotee, you see how humble he was. And because of that only the Krishna takes up all responsibility to avenge the offense done to a devotee. And then so this is 5:30. We will end class. Don't do 5 minutes. 5 minutes. So Rishabdev, after he instructed his 100 sons, after instructing 100 sons, he went and became sannyasi, Avadhut. Then you see Rishabdev began to tour through cities, villages, mines, countrysides, valleys, gardens, military camps, cow pens, homes of cowherdmen, transient hotels, hills, forests and hermitages. Wherever he travelled, all bad elements surrounded him, just as flies surround the body of an elephant coming from a forest. He was always being threatened, beaten, urinated upon, spat upon. Sometimes people threw stones, stool and dust at him, and sometimes people passed foul air before him. Thus, people called him many bad names and gave him a great deal of trouble, but he did not care about this, for he understood that the body is simply meant for such an end. So what is the meaning of simply bodies are simply meant for such an end? Because after the body is, the so-called, when the soul leaves, even the own relatives will go and burn the body. Body is meant for such an end. Or in some traditions, they open up all the flesh and everything. Parsi culture, they have this. They even break the skull open and then put on the mountain, on the high place where the birds can come and eat. Their idea is that my body should be service to others. Tibetan also, yes. Genghis Khan also, I think, is thought to have given up his body like that. They call it sky burial or something. So, ultimately, it will become either ashes or stool, or what is the other one? Earth. It mixes into the earth, soil, or it becomes stool or becomes ashes. That's the end of it. So, if somebody urinates upon earth or ashes, who cares? Or stool or earth. So, but he is on that level. The thing is, we have to be safe on the spiritual platform. So, he was situated on the spiritual platform, and being in his spiritual glory, he did not care for all these material insults. Tulya ninda stutir mauni santushta yena kena chit. In other words, he completely understood that matter and spirit are separate, and he had no bodily conception. Thus, without being angry at anyone, he walked through the whole world alone. So, body and soul are separate. That lesson we heard in the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. But here is a person who has understood the second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. This will be his behavior. If my behavior is anything other than this, I have not understood second chapter of Bhagavad Gita. What to speak of third, fourth, fifth, 18th. You see? Sometimes people say, I have read Bhagavad Gita, basics only, ABC. Prabhupada said ABC, I know ABC. Now, what do you know? This is knowing of Bhagavad Gita, second chapter only. So, So of course there is another story where Narad Muni is preached to snake to be humble. Don't be so envious. Why are you biting? Not become humble. Tranadati Sunicana to snake. So the snake became humble. The snake became very humble, and then it was going in the village, and all were scared. But then some young boys, they always like to play with something. They put some stick and then try to prod, and the snake just went away. Oh, this snake is not scary. Okay, every time they see the snake, they'll throw like this. And they were playing with the snake. The snake wasn't doing anything. So one day he was all bruised and bloody everywhere, and then Narad Muni came. Narad Muni said, "What happened?" "No, you asked me to be humble, and this is what happened to me." And he said, "I asked you to be humble, not stupid." He said, "You at least raise your hood so that they get a little bit afraid and then they don't disturb you." The thing here was, the snake was disturbed by, and then he kept himself in the vicinity of such naughty people, and he could not focus. He was not as detached as this, Rishabdev. So if we are not there, we cannot imitate. So in that case, we just, show like just a facade of anger or something, just to keep disturbing elements away. But internally we cannot. That's why when this. So ye vamayishe krita sauhridartha janeshu deham bharavartikesu गृहेषु जायात्मजराति मत्सु न प्रीति युक्ता यावदर्थाश्च लोके. Those who are interested in reviving Krishna consciousness and increasing their love of Godhead do not like to do anything that is not related to Krishna. They are not interested in mingling with people who are busy maintaining their bodies, eating, sleeping, mating and defending. They are not attached to their homes, although they may be householders, nor are they attached to wives, children, friends or wealth. At the same time, they are not indifferent to the execution of their duties. Such people are interested in collecting only enough money to keep their body and soul together. And when people suggest to them things that you should do like this, you should do like that, these are also disturbances for a devotee, right? Jnatayah pitarau putra bhratarah suhridopare yadvadanti yadichanti chanumodeta nirmamah. An intelligent man in human society should make his own program of activities very simple. If there are suggestions from friends, children, parents, brothers or anyone else, he should externally agree, saying yes, that is all right. But internally he should be determined not to create a cumbersome life in which the purpose of life will not be fulfilled. So he just gives a facade of agreement, or sometimes if somebody is inimical or something, just show a facade of anger or something like this to keep the disturbing elements away, so that I can not having hate actually for that person. So in this way, one must conduct oneself and go back to Godhead. So any questions or comments on this topic? So we'll stop here. Tantra Srimad Bhagavatam ki, Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaur